Good morning, students. Welcome to session 3 of Accounts of Banking Companies. In this session, we are going to discuss about the special provisions for preparing final accounts of banking companies, and also students will be able to understand the format of balance sheet. Only these two topics are considered in case of this second session. ಈ ಒಂದು ಮೂರನೇ ಸೆಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಈ ಒಂದು ಎರಡು ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಮೊದಲನೇ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಬಂದು ದ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಪ್ರಾವಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರಿಂಗ್ ಫೈನಲ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್. ಫೈನಲ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನೀಸನ್ನು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಮೊದಲನೇ ಪಾಯಿಂಟು, ಮೊದಲನೇ ಅಂಶ. Second one is format of balance sheet. Now, in case of this special provisions in preparing final accounts of companies, we are come across so many terminologies which we are going to discuss in future sessions in detail. To mention in brief, the first one is a rebate on bills discounted. Rebate means discount, which is considered in case of preparing final accounts of the companies. Interest on doubtful debts, we are discussed in the previous session itself. A deposit, that is the amounts which are raised by the bank from the general public or the outsiders. Short term loans, that is credit balance. Short term loan credit indicates loans borrowed by the bank. Short-term loans credit indicates the loans borrowed by the banks. ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಗಳು ಲೋನನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು ಅಂಥದ್ದು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಲೋನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್. ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಲೋನ್ಸ್ ಡೆಬಿಟ್, ಇಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಕೇಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಲೋನ್ಸ್ ಗಿವೆನ್ ಬೈ ದಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಟು ಔಟ್ಸೈಡರ್ಸ್. Don't get confused here. Short-term loans credit indicates the loans borrowed by the bank from outsiders. Whereas point number 5 is short-term loans debit. It indicates the loans provided by the bank to outsiders. Then the bills payable is another one. Branch adjustments debit as well as credit are considered in case of the preparation of final accounts. Point number 9 is investments which are made by the banking company outside its business transactions. Then loans and advances provided by the banks to the outsiders. Then a closing balance of stationery and stamps is also considered for the preparation of final accounts of companies, along with the contingent liabilities. The contingent liabilities are considered under schedule 12 on the asset side of the balance sheet. Point number 13 indicates bills for collection being bills receivable. Bills for collection means the outstanding collections which are to be recoverable or receivable. Provisions on contingencies is also considered. Non-banking assets. Non-banking assets means these are the services or the assets which are provided by the bank other than its regular business activities, the regular business services. Point number 16 is acceptances, endorsements and other obligations. Acceptances means which are the bills accepted by the bank. The endorsements indicates these are the bills which are shifted or transferred to some others. And obligations means the liabilities. Money at call and short notice is also another one important aspect which is considered on the asset side of the balance sheet. And the last point is the non-performing assets. With the bank made some investment on such assets which are not at all yielding any sort of income, such an asset is considered as non-performing asset. In short, we call it as NPA, non-performing assets. These are the elements which we come across as special provisions while preparing final accounts of companies, banking companies. The final accounts of banking companies consists of the profit and loss account and the balance sheet. Section 29, as per Banking Regulations Act of 1949, as per Section 29, Schedule 3, Form A forms the balance sheet. This is the format of balance sheet which is prescribed as per Schedule 3, Form A of Section 29 of the Banking Regulations Act of 1949. Here we have to write the name of the company, that is balance sheet of ABC company as on 31st March. The year we have to mention. Okay. Here this is the format which we use for the preparation of balance sheet. Okay. The first we have to consider the capital and liabilities. The capital and liabilities consists of 5 schedules. Okay, the 5 schedules are considered as the total on the capital and asset side. Okay, capital and liability side. The capital, okay, is considered under Schedule 1. The reserves and surplus as Schedule 2. Deposits as Schedule 3. And 4th schedule is borrowings. And the 5th schedule constitutes other liabilities and provisions. This is with regard to the liability side of the balance sheet of a banking company. The liability side is titled as capital and liabilities, and it consists of 5 subheadings or schedules. Capital 1 is Schedule 1. Capital is Schedule 1. Reserves and surplus is Schedule 2. Deposits forms Schedule 3. Borrowings are considered under Schedule 4. Other liabilities and provisions are considered as 5th schedule. The total of these 5 indicates the total liabilities. Now on the other hand, the assets are considered. The assets are under 5 heads we have to consider. Okay, 6 heads. They are, the first one is cash and balances with Reserve Bank of India, which is owned by the bank with RBI. Balances with banks and money at call and short notice forms Schedule 7. Investment is considered under the head, Schedule 8. Advances are taken as Schedule 9. Fixed assets forms Schedule 10. Other assets constituted are considered as Schedule 11. The total of these 6 is equals to total assets. Okay, the total liabilities is equals to total assets. The liabilities forms 5 schedules, 1 to 5, and assets considered from schedule number 6 to 11. Totally 6 schedules comes under asset side. After the total of these assets, we have to consider one more schedule which is not being a part of the total of these assets. That is contingent liabilities. Contingent liabilities is treated as Schedule 12 in the balance sheet, but it should not considered for totaling either on the asset side or on the liability side. But we have to mention, we have to show the schedule and also the workings. Okay, these amounts are treated or considered under 2 heads. They are current year as well as the previous year. Okay, at the end of the each year, each financial year, we have to show the amount of balances in the respective schedules. The schedules are considered as the working notes, which we are going to discuss in the further sessions. Okay, this is the format of balance sheet as per section 29, schedule 3, form A, as per the Banking Regulations Act of 1949. Okay, ಇದಿಷ್ಟನ್ನು ಈ ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ನ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ನ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟನ್ನು ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ 29 ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ 3 ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಎನ ಪ್ರಕಾರನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮೊದಲಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪನಿಯ ಹೆಸರು, ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷಾಂತ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟನ್ನು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಈ ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊದಲಿಗೆ ನಾವು 4 ಕಾಲಮ್ಸನ್ನು ಹಾಕ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮೊದಲನೇದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತನಾದರೂ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೋದು. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕಾಲಮ್ ಹೆಡಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್, ಥರ್ಡ್ ಕಾಲಮ್ ಹೆಡಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಆನ್ 31st/3, that is current year, present year, and the last column is as on 31st/3 previous year, that is last year. ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮೊದಲಿಗೆ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸಲ್ಲಿ 5 ಸಬ್ ಹೆಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಸು. ಆ 5 ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊದಲನೇದು ಬಂಡವಾಳ, ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ 1, ರಿಸರ್ವ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ 2, ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ಸ್ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ 3, ಬಾರೋಯಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ 4, ಅದರ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪ್ರಾವಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ 5. ಈ 5ರ ಟೋಟಲನ್ನು ಟೋಟಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಟೋಟಲ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್. ದೆನ್ thereafter we have to consider assets. ಅಸೆಟ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಾಗ 6 ಸಬ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಸನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ 6 to 11. ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ 6 ಇಂಡಿಕೇಟ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಸ್ ವಿತ್ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ 6 ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮನಿ ಅಟ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ನೋಟಿಸ್, ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ 7 ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ 8, advances given by the bank to outsiders schedule 9, fixed assets forms schedule 10, and other assets ಇತರೆ ಆಸ್ತಿಗಳು ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ 11. ಈ ಒಂದು 6ನೇ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ನಿಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು 11ನೇ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ನವರೆಗೂ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡಾಗ ವಿ ಗೆಟ್ ದ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್. ದ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ಸ್ ಟು ದ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್, ಇದಾಗಿರಬೇಕು. ದೆನ್ ಅಟ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕಂಟಿಂಜೆಂಟ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಸೆಪರೇಟ್ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ 12. ಈ ಒಂದು ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ 12 ಟೋಟಲ್ ಅಮೌಂಟನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ಗಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಸೈಡ್ಗಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಟೋಟಲ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಸಮ್ಮರಿ ಆಫ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ. ಇದು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿನ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟು ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು. ನೌ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ವಿತ್ ಸಮ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್. The question number 1 is, what is NPA? Option A, non-possessed assets. Option B, non-performing assets. Option C, net present assets. Option D, non-permanent asset. The answer is option B, non-performing assets. The second question is, rebate on bills discounted is option A prepaid expenditure. Option B, a income received in advance. Option C, a outstanding income. Option D, a outstanding expense. The answer is option B, a income received in advance. Question number 3 is, short loans credit represents option A, loan borrowed by the bank. Option B, loan borrowed from the bank by customer for short period. Option C, loan provided by the bank. Option D, loan borrowed by a current account holder. The right answer is option A, loan borrowed by the bank. Question number 4, commission, exchange and brokerage are treated under which schedule? Option A, Schedule 4. Option B, Schedule 8. Option C, Schedule 14. Option D, none of the above. The answer is Schedule C. Answer is option C, Schedule 14. The last question is, contingent liabilities are shown under option A, Schedule 8. Option B, Schedule 11. Option C, Schedule 9. Option D, Schedule 12. The right answer is option D, Schedule 12. With this, I conclude this session. Thank you.